Back to the dark end of the shop. I went ahead, since I had a little bit of time yesterday after I plastigaged. I got cylinder 1 and 2 piston in, and I know I was told you I was going to bring it back when I did it, but I just do it 3 and 4. I've already put the rings on, the bearings are in, and I've wiped the cylinders down, and so now it's time to put them together. So I'm going to put number 3 in now. I'm going to be honest, it's not something I like to admit, but this isn't actually, I haven't actually looked at the specs specifically on the Gen 4, although I assume they're like the later, what they call they have two. When you're looking up your, because like I said, I can't find my Haynes book right now for the Gen 4 stuff. I really didn't Google it like I probably should have. But something I've run into, I'm oiling the cylinders up. I'm just using standard old 30 weight SDP oil. It really doesn't make any difference at this point. Engine break-in is, I usually use Mobil for everything, but you know, I've been kind of told it's not really the perfect break-in oil to use for trying to seat rings and stuff in. So I'll likely, I'm wiping down the piston some too. I'm just checking the rings really quick, and this is your last chance. Make sure the rings are not lined up with each other. The biggest thing though you want to look at is obviously the direction. The piston's going in. The biggest thing is those keepers that we put in for the, it's going to be hard to see. Oops, yeah, see, you can't really see it because it's too dark over here. Anyway, the pins that we use to put the piston on the rod, make sure you check them just to make sure that every one of them's on like they're supposed to be. So, alright, let's get the ring compressor on. Anyway, what I was getting at here is that I'm running into, I did it off camera, but it's always a good idea to double check and make sure that everything is measured good, you know, measuring out the way it's supposed to measure, meaning, of course, piston, or the cylinder bore. I cleaned 3 more of the cylinders up yesterday off camera because I didn't like the way they were looking, and I didn't think much about it. And I never checked the bore again. So, and I still actually haven't checked the actual bore. But one thing I did do was I thought, well, you know what, let me throw the rings in without a piston and get a measurement on them. When you're putting the, when you're actually putting your engine assembly lube on, not only put it on the rings, but put it on the outside edge of the rods too, because they are actually rubbing not only on each other, but they also are rubbing on the side of the crank. So that kind of gives us a little bit of lube, just like I said, just a little bit on that sliding surface. Okay, piston forward. Anyway, so I did a quick check through the rings in. I did the top ring first, compression ring, I guess you're going to call it. And either I'm putting the rings in upside down, which I don't think so. I hate to say the one I got is very vague, but the one with the chrome moly ring on it, the chrome on the outside edge to me is always the top ring. It's number 1 to be the top. I put it in there, pushed it about a third of the way down or better, and very disappointed in the numbers I got. 17 is considered max, 17 thousandths. It's like 9 thousandths to 17 thousandths. And I was disappointed, to say the least, because I ended up getting 20, and that's technically boring stage. Talking about boring the block. So I'm not really sure. There's not, I mean, I hate to say there's no turning back now. I can't stop doing what I'm doing, and I can't afford to get another block here and go through it. I'm out of time, and I'm out of, I mean, I'm not really necessarily out of money, but we agreed on a price, and And I don't like to do things halfway. I am not that guy. I hate doing it like this. And I'll explain to him. And I'll do a compression test once we get a couple of heat cycles in it. I may do a compression check on a few of the cylinders just to see what I'm getting. But I'm very disappointed in the numbers I got. The middle ring was fine. It was actually around 20, and I think you're allowed like 27 thousandths on it. So I'm disappointed, and I may have the wrong specs because I'm going off of the Gen 3 numbers, but I really don't think that I don't think I'm off. You know, I don't think I'm that far off. There is a difference between what they consider early and late, like anything pre, like 99 and 2000, maybe 2001, or like one number, then 2002, 3, 4, and whatever it is, are different. I don't know why that is, but anyway, I'm just being honest with you. There's no sense in making it up. Something is not right. You really need it bored. I've been looking at aluminum blocks to mess with it. I don't think I'm going to do that now. It's just not worth it. Money wise and everything else. I mean, it's just not worth it. If you're going to end up having to sleeve it, I'm not sure you're gaining anything. Where a cast block, there's all kinds of people build the stroker kits for these. So, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't do that, but that's just me. All right, the rods are just, that number 3 is actually just hand tight. I'm going to do both at the same time. Go ahead and get 4 in. So anyway, I'm disappointed in it myself. I should have actually looked this job over prior to taking it, prior to taking the job on. I've already said that. And so at this point, we're going to run with it and just kind of see how it goes. I'm not overly fond of this, doing it this way. I don't have enough space. I just hit my side of my ankle on the, that don't matter. A little well here. Probably can't see what I'm doing. Make sure you get it on the skirts and rings. Like I said, I already got it in the cylinders. And then, like I said, make sure everything looks like it's supposed to be. The rings aren't lined up with each other. Okay, where's the second one at? There it is. But I think this is going to be the last motor I build for somebody else. Like I said, I think I even said that yesterday or part of this video or however all this is going to line out, because I don't like being responsible for this kind of stuff that isn't working as I anticipated or as I envisioned, and what the person who's paying me money to do this is the thing. So I'll be honest with him up front and tell him if there's a problem with this, I'm going to have to find a cast block and we'll start from scratch. And it'll have to be on my dime. I just don't see a way around it. But it's got to run better than it did, because just judging by what I was seeing, it's definitely not. Definitely wasn't in very good shape. I was seeing bad piston slap and wore out timing set and rings. There's actually a lot of stuff I was seeing that wasn't very good. So, all right, number 4 in. So anyway, just to reiterate, when you're doing your own, if that's how she ends up, sometimes that's how she ends up. You just you either roll with it or you start from scratch. And in this particular case, being as this isn't mine, I really wished I could start from scratch, but he's got to have it back. I don't think he's going to be disappointed in the way it comes out, and like I said, the way the truck is being treated, I don't think he's going to get I don't see any reason why this engine won't last 100,000 miles. I really don't. But in the same token, I'm not doing it any favors. Everything's going to be new, pistons and everything is new. So it's not like I'm not shortchanging him and charging him for a job that's not getting done. What is bothering me is that's the compression ring, and I don't have that thing in there very straight. It's not helping me at all here. There we go. Come on. Meaning the piston is twisted just a little bit, so it makes the rod twisted, and it's not allowing the. I know you can't see it, what I'm talking about, but I'm just going to give it just a little bit between the rod and the throw. Don't take much. Okay. Piece of fuzz, don't want that. Bearing move just a tad. It'll straighten itself out. Okay. Get the cap on these, get these torqued down. We'll go from there. It looks pretty good. Anyway, so like I said, taking these kind of projects on, just kind of rolling the dice, And getting on to something else that I started talking about either last video or this part of this one. I'm not sure where this is all going to play out. I was talking about my shop being gone and the property over there, with her not being able to fix hers. I can't legally build there, and so because of this, well, I can't build there and expect it not to have issues. If she can fix it a few years down the road, they're not going to be able to get to it. That's number one problem. Number two is if something does happen, she can't fix it and it falls in, well, that's going to take mine with it. And like I said, insurance obviously is very picky about that kind of stuff. So that leaves me out knowingly that the body, because I actually got a piece of paper from a structural engineer saying stay away from the property, don't go in. Don't park anything next to the wall, da da da. I mean, and it was sent to both insurance companies. It was sent to the city. It was sent to her. It was sent to everybody. So it's not like I can just ignore it and build something there. So what I'm trying to get at is I can't use that property to build my shop. Don't like where it's at anyway. And number two, where am I at? Still at 15 pounds. Is that what that was supposed to be? I think it was. So anyway, I am now looking either for a shop that I could buy, which is option one, which there are none available. Every one that is for sale is too far away, and or they want more money than I want to spend, and so I was looking then for just a vacant piece of property outside of town that I could buy, install a shop building on it, since it would be, not residential like here in town, and then build a shop. And that was option number two. Number three is, I'm looking up the specs again because I think it's 80. Okay, why? Come on, phone. Any other time. Rod bolts plus 15 pounds plus 85 degrees. Remembered yesterday, don't remember today. Too old. Okay, so anyway, with that being said, my problem is I do not have a place besides the house I possess right now. Oops, lost zero. To build on. Now this garage, and I talked to the accountant, is not attached to my house. It is 22 by 40. The last 10 foot is basically unusable because there's no concrete. I don't like like doing that either, guys, but I had to stop and get another bite. That's 85. And so I asked him then, can I just add on to my existing garage? Would that satisfy the government? And he says he was good with that because it's not attached to the house and it's already being used as a shop, and it's already, I already own it, just like I do the building site over there. Come on now, this isn't a ratchet. Pay attention to what you're doing. So that is another option, is I just build right here. The problem is, I'd really like to add on to the side. I can go south, but no, why did you quit turning? Why did you quit turning? I hate these things. These are junk. I need to buy a new one that works, because this ain't it. I don't have any idea where it stopped at, guys. I don't know. It just quit working altogether. I had to take it apart yesterday because it was 100% not working. Something about changing that direction on it does not like that at all. Plus 85. Alright, best I can figure I got that right. Okay, so anyway, so I'm going to call. I have 2 years to do something with this money. I've already spent it. I paid everything off I possessed. House, cars, building, obviously I still owed a little bit on it. And I really didn't have a credit card, but I paid everything off that I had. And I thought that that would be fine. And I blew it, like I said, letting them know. And I'm not trying to hide money. Like I said, it's not how I roll. All right, there we go. But if I pay taxes on it and never be able to use it to build, I'll lose 30,000 of it or whatever it was that I'm not going to give exact number, but it doesn't make any difference. And if I don't spend it by the end of the 2 years, not only will I have to pay the original amount on the tax, but also have to pay penalties and interest. So, I'm not really sure what to do there. But I need another building or a bigger shop. Option 2 here would be, instead of just adding onto the side, is to tear it down, start from scratch. So that is something I'll have to do 2 different things. I'll have to have them, or 3. I'll come up with another option and see which one's the best. City's going to have to, of course, come out and then look to see if I can even do that. Can I add on south? Can I tear this whole thing down, start from scratch? Because it's so close to my neighbor's fence, it's only like 6-7 foot, and it's like 10, 15, 12 foot from the back alley easement. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what is allowed if you tear it down, start from scratch. So anyway, that's not here nor there. We'll talk about that later on. Okay, those are in. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 in. And I'm not going to bore you with that. I already plastic gauged everything. Everything looked great. Numbers were good. The only thing I said that bothers me is the ring gap. If I was putting a turbocharge on this or something, boy, that's probably a pretty good gap. But that's not what this is for. So we'll get it running. I'll go through a few heat cycles. I'll pull a plug or 2 out and just do a quick compression check. And I have a pretty good idea where it's supposed to be. I didn't check it to begin with, but I do know how it ran when I pulled up. And I was scared to drive it, and he'd been driving it the whole time because it wouldn't pick up oil pressure fast, and it was making all kinds of noise, and it was leaking oil so bad. But okay, I'm going to stop boring you, and I will bring you back when I'm ready to start assembling the rest of it. Because I didn't put the plate here, it won't fit between here, so it really needs to be on before the oil pan is on. So what I'll end up have to do is, once the windage tray, oil pump, timing set, cam, and I'll bring you back for some of that stuff. Once all that stuff is together, I will turn the engine over, pull it off, and I'll put the plate on there and then put it back on so I can do the rest of the assembly. You know, no other way around that. So I'll try to get you a little better pictures. It's just so tight in here, and I got the air conditioner on because it's getting hot out again, and so I'm sorry everything is just so tight, but I know you just basically saw nothing except stuff being beat in. I don't even know if you saw it when I turned it upside down. You may not even be able to see that. I guess I better look. I never looked at the camera once. Could you even see what I was doing? Yeah, you could see. So, all right. like I said, I have other videos on these engines, so it's not like it's not like this is top secret or I'm just trying to vaguely show you. I have other LS builds that actually showed start to finish, putting rings on, putting bearings, doing a little bit better job on honing and heads and all that stuff. If I wasn't in such a hurry to get this done, I would show you absolutely everything start to finish. It's just not in the cards. I'll definitely do it on one of the 6 liters because one of them's got to be bored and different pistons put in, and I'm probably going to go, one of them will have different heads, and it's not a big deal doing that. You just got to know the CC range, what compression ratio you want with the pistons you have, and what cam you're going to run and stuff. There's a whole mess of stuff you have to kind of take into consideration when you're building something like this. This is just stock. So, all right, I'll bring you back.